Hello and welcome to the spring edition of Titan Television. I'm Bethany Thompson.
And I'm Jackson Brink. On this edition of Titan Television, we will be looking at the new Kansas City Airport with Miss Klein's masterpiece.
And we will look into a West student who is now on Broadway.
All this and more on this edition of Titan Television.
Last year, art teacher Miss Klein's original art piece was chosen to be in the new Kansas City Airport. It is now in Terminal B47 for the public to see. Art teacher Miss Klein had the opportunity of a lifetime. At the beginning of the school year in 2021, her artwork was chosen to be on display in the new Kansas City Airport.
Really, really exciting. We got a kind of secret email that said to stay tuned for the Kansas City Council meeting that would be that following week, and that we were kind of on the short list for being the artist selected for the airport.
And now her artwork hangs in Terminal B46.
My artwork was inspired by my Master of Fine Arts thesis work. It was a ceramic tile installation where I impressed some advertisement plates from the 1950s as a texture into clay, and I used various quilt patterns to inspire the different motifs. One thing that has been really exciting is that a lot of my students flew out for spring break or went on other trips, and they sent me pictures of themselves in front of my artwork. So it's really fun to see other people's reactions.
Reporting for Titan TV, this is Bethany Thompson.
Up next, Carson Hess tells us about one club that is on a winning streak.
Recently, the debate team here at West has been on fire. Thanks to Mr. Good, your fellow students have been placing at almost every single contest. To get the full story next week, visit elliswestonline.com.
Now, here is Braden Barbie for your Titan Sports Update.
Welcome back to another segment of Titan Sports Update. I'm Braden Barbie. Spring sports have been underway for about a month now, so let's look into how these amazing athletes have been doing.
The Titans baseball team reaches the midpoint of their season sitting around 500. Blake Jones and Brandon Barbie have been tearing it up on the offensive side, and Evan Watson and Sebastian Coleman have put in strong innings on the mound. The team looks to finish the second half of the regular season strong as they look to take the district championship this year. Look for their game tonight versus Belton in their first face-off since districts last year. Now here's Sebastian Coleman with some insight on the tennis team.
The boys tennis team season is underway as they start off fairly strong. Standouts like Rockhurst University commit Arnav Ganavram and Owen Liang are keeping this team strong by securing some big wins against powerful teams. They continue to look to go in the right direction as they face Lee Summit North tomorrow at 3:45.
In their last meet, both track teams did very well. Leading the girls was Jamie Birmingham, who placed first in both the 100 and 200 meter dash, finishing with a win in the Darwin Rolled Invitational. For the boys, Tavion Sims placed first and Chaz Watson placed third in the 100 meter dash.
The boys golf team has began their season in a fantastic way, placing first in 5 out of the 6 invitationals. Recently, the Titans broke the school record with a score of 299 at the Grain Valley Invitational. Seniors Josh Lumby and Justin Andrews lead the team in consistently placing top 5 out of many schools. We wish them the best of luck in finishing their season strong. Let's take a look at senior golfer Justin Andrews.
The boys golf team has started off with 2 first-place finishes, led by seniors Justin Andrews and Josh Lumby. And as the defending conference champion, Andrews hopes to finish his golf career at Lee Summit West strong.
Consistency would be the biggest thing I would say. I'm a very up and down player, and for my senior year, I'd like to play just steady golf the whole year. The team dynamics are great. I think everyone on the team kind of knows their place, and it's a really fun environment to be around. Nobody's really down on themselves, and everybody kind of gels well together, so it's fun to be out there.
Coach Wagner knows that it's the end of the season that matters the most.
We got the taste of we finished 5th last year in state, and I think just we focused more on not the beginning of the season, but being able to peak at the end of the season so that we can take care of some unfinished business, hopefully in May. I've got a good group of kids this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they can perform under pressure.
Andrews placed second at the Grand Valley Invitational, leading the team to break the school record with a score of 299, placing first overall. This is Gabby Mercado reporting for Titan Sports Update.
The Titans soccer team recently had a huge 3-0 win against Pembroke Hill, and they just finished up a tournament in Springfield. Go check out LSW Sports Update on Twitter to see the results. Now we take a look at how the Titans' new coach plans to take over this young team.
With the loss of many seniors and their head coach, this year's girls soccer team is starting fresh.
We lost 13 seniors last year, so I think we really have to emphasize family this year as we have a whole entire new group.
Brizendine has coached the boys soccer team for 17 years and is now adding girls soccer to his already successful coaching resume.
It's been a lot of fun. The girls are working really hard.
I love Briz. I think he works really well with us, and he really puts an emphasis on it being our season.
With a record of 11-8 coaching the boys team, he hopes to see the same success with the girls.
We've had some good seasons. I think we're on a 5-year conference title streak right now. Won state a couple times.
The girls have gone through some big changes this year.
You know, we're a young team, so I think we have four seniors and but a ton of talent. So I think our goals are just for us to be playing together throughout the whole year.
Senior Campbell Gann is one of the 4 seniors on the team, and she has some hopes of her own.
My biggest expectation for us as a team is to give our effort, like 100% effort every day, every game. I think it comes down to, it doesn't matter if we win or lose this season, it just matters really what we did on the field. The wins and losses aren't really in my mind right now.
Go game at a time and see where it takes us and hope to just get better every day.
With photographer Nate Warnsman, this is Brooke Hayes reporting for Titan TV.
Come support the Titans tonight at the annual Pink Out game against Lee Summit North at home. The boys and girls lacrosse teams have struggled to open up their seasons. The boys will play St. Thomas Aquinas tonight at home, and the girls will also be at home against Blue Valley tomorrow night in hopes of turning around the season.
That's going to close out this edition of Titan Sport Update. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at LSW Sports Update to get updates on all these teams. Back to you, Jackson.
Thanks, Sebastian. Now, with new AI technology, although impressive, has created some new issues regarding plagiarism and cheating. Jamie Birmingham has the story.
ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot that does whatever you ask it to do, which sounds great in theory, but can cause some problems within the classroom.
This program is capable of composing essays. That is a challenge because, our job, for example, as English teachers is to teach our students to be able to think and write for themselves, and having a program, an AI program, do that isn't our goal.
Many are left with the question, is there ever a time it's okay to use? But for right now, the consequences are the same as it would be for plagiarism.
We're kind of trying to figure out what are the limits. How can students and teachers use it, but how can we also upkeep our academic integrity and not just let chatbots do all of our work for us.
Teachers worry that ChatGPT could also affect the work ethic of many students when it comes to essays. This is Jamie Birmingham reporting for Titan Television.
Former Titan Bryson Bruce started in a lot of theater productions here at West when he was here. Now he has turned that passion into a career.
People think of the name Hamilton. They no longer think of Alexander Hamilton, the founding father, but rather Hamilton the musical. And if you take a look at the actors on stage, you might be able to spot a Lee Summit West alum.
I am a standby on the first national tour of Hamilton. So a standby means that at any time, if any of the principals need to not do the show, if they have an injury or they're feeling sick or just need a day, there are people that know their tracks. So at any time I could be asked to play Hamilton or Burr or Lafayette Jefferson or the King or George Washington.
I have a brief message.
Originally, theater wasn't what Bruce wanted to do for a career, but once he caught the theater bug in high school, he never looked back.
I tried out for the musical every year, and I did get into them, so it just started this snowball effect of being able to participate in all these different musicals and plays and to really see, okay, this is something I could do for the rest of my life.
One of my extra duties was to go to the musical. And so that was my job, was to go kind of oversee the ticket sales, make sure that all of that was taken care of. And then once that was done, you could go in and catch the show. So I knew Bryson was in theater and, knew he was pretty good, but I'd never watched him perform. I go in and I'm watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought this kid has a voice.
After high school, Bruce studied theater at the University of Missouri before making his way to New York.
I got a chance to tour the 20th anniversary tour of Rent. And with that, I got to cover Benny and Collins and 4 other ensemble male tracks as well. But after that, there was a little bit of a dry spell. Then Hamilton finally came along.
For the last 5 years, Bruce has been touring all around the U.S. with the national tour of Hamilton.
Right when I debuted in June, I was supposed to also perform the opening number with the cast that was present and one extra person, which turned out to be Lin-Manuel Miranda. He popped in for a moment to be Hamilton in the opening number. It turned out to be very memorable. He's very down-to-earth, likable guy.
Bruce hopes to continue his acting career once his time with Hamilton is over, but until then, he is not throwing away his shot. This is Kira Eichelkraut reporting for Titan Television.
Just a couple weeks ago in Kansas City, Bruce took the lead role as Alexander Hamilton.
And that's it for this edition of Titan Television.
Be sure to check out all of our social medias at Elizabeth Online, and be sure to check out a new intro show coming soon.
Have a great week, Titans.